All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. I'm back and I'm better than ever. I don't know if I'm better than ever, but I'm back. That's the most important thing. Sometimes people think that you have to come back and you have to be better. Sometimes it's just good enough to come back. Start with square one. You know what I'm saying? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Hardtruth Podcast. Let's clap it up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's clap it up. I'm your girl, your favorite feminist pick-me, BK, Bekay. And this episode, I wanted to do this by myself. The first two episodes, I had my homeboy Reggie on here. The last episode, I had my brothers on here. And, we got some really good perspectives from them. But this is my shit. You know what I'm saying? This is my shit. I want to talk my shit. I want to give you my perspective of hard truth and really kind of dive into topics. And, I know it's been a while since I've been on here. To be transparent, since it is called Hard Truth, that last episode did take a lot out of me. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really ready to talk about, personal lives or my family life like that. And I got a lot of great feedback, a lot of other type of feedback. But, I definitely wanted to kind of process that before jumping back on the mic and speaking out of emotions, especially, I'm a Sagittarius. So sometimes I say things that I don't mean. In the long game, I meant it when I said it. But in the long game, I could have said it better. Also, it was hot girl summer. I was turning up. That's what I was doing. That's where I was, okay? Taking that PTO. Yes, sir. I was taking that PTO. You see what I'm saying? So I was enjoying my summer. If Carisha can have, 2 episodes a year, so can I. So can I. But I definitely want to hit some topics. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I was gonna do say it with your chest, but I forgot my cards. I forgot my cards. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just kind of recap what I've been through. I might tell a little whole story or two. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my girl Mariah. Mariah is the executive producer of this episode. Y'all, everybody give it up for Mariah. Woo, 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 woo. So if you hear something in the back. Also, because this is an episode where I'm going to be the main focus, I don't see how like other people can just talk and have monologues and not talk to something or someone. I need feedback. You know what I'm saying? I need somebody to, you and I get in debates all the time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We get in debates all the time. So I'm not in my bed debating myself. So, I need some type of energy to feed off on, good, bad, or indifferent. So that's why you'll hear Mariah in the back. Maybe I'll bring her into some deep conversations. I don't know. We'll see. This is going to be, an episode of its own. It has a mind of its own. I want to start with some things that really brought me here today. And I'm emotional. I'm not going to cry though. This is not the past episode. But Frankie fucking Beverly died, yo. Frankie Beverly of Frankie Beverly and Maze, okay? Everyone knows I'm a huge 70s, 80s, 90s girl, 60s, Motown, Jeffrey Osborne, The Whispers, the Four Tops, the Spinners, the Temptations, Jeffrey Osborne. Frankie Beverly was definitely like top 3, top 4. I think for me, dead or alive, if I made a list of who's going to make me pass out, right? He was definitely top 5. Prince was number 1. I definitely did. I had to take 3 days of bereavement for that. Ron Isley's on that list. Ron Isley's going to make me go to sleep, for sure. I don't want to talk to nobody. Patti LaBelle. Patti LaBelle's going to make me go to sleep. I don't want to talk to nobody. Denzel Washington. Angela Bassett. Frankie was one of them, to me. I was asleep this morning. My alarm went off. I'm getting up. I work remote. So I'm getting up. I say my prayer because I'm in this thing of like trying to give it up to God before I start looking at phones and stuff like that. Because niggas be on fuck shit. And it's like, you ain't call me back. You was with that nigga, blah, blah, blah. So gave it up to God. I opened my Instagram app. Boom. Frankie Beverly. I text my boss and said, I'm going to be late. Rolled back over and cried. I rolled back over and cried. Like, I was sick of it. And what kills me is, like, for the past 2 weeks, we've been losing people. Like, we lost not Biz Marquis. What's some homeboy named Fat Man Scoop. Well, I was in Miami. Yep, we was in Miami with that. Then we lost James Earl Jones, Mufasa, you know what I'm saying, Coming to America, Dark Vader. I don't even want to limit him to those particular films and TV shows because he is like, I mean, he was a living legend. And that stung. It was like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? We lost Rich Homie Quan. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, you know, that was cool. Frankie? I can't get my fear right. Frankie, who told you to leave right now? It's only 7/7. Why would you leave right now? And you know, I went on a rant, and sometimes, and this is a Sagittarius thing, sometimes when I get emotional, I get erratic. This is why Geminis and Sagittarius are called sister signs. I'm sorry to all the men that's watching this right now, okay? Because I know y'all are like, oh, here we go with the signs. Yeah, here we go with the signs. The reason why I brought up Geminis is because Prince is a Gemini. Kanye West is a Gemini. Kendrick Lamar is a Gemini. And there are sister signs, right? Jay-Z is a Sagittarius. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes. When I get emotional, I get upset. I get angry. And I want to lash out at people, right? So when I woke up and I saw Frankie Beverly dead, it started making me think about how trash this music is today. And I was just like, Lord, like, I can't question God, but sometimes I want to see the list. Like, we could switch this order around. You gotta be careful with the Lord, because the Lord be like, you know what, I'll bump you up on that list. All right. You can't play with God. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right. But also, there's some people who could have. There's some people. You know what I'm saying? With James Earl Jones, he was like 93, 94. I got it. Cool. Rich Homie Quan, completely sad. Frankie? Doing a farewell tour? And then you gonna say farewell? I just wasn't well. I wasn't well. And I think for me, the reason why I'm such a oldies music baby is because you can tell that they wrote that music. And you can tell that they sung the music from a place of first person, right? It wasn't like, and I'm not saying like everyone who sung a song wrote their own music. Obviously, you have people like Smokey who wrote for a lot of people in Motown and stuff like that. But you can tell with certain songs that it was relative to whoever they were giving the music to, and that the song had much more meaning than what is just what we hear. Yeah. And I play this game on my Instagram all the time of like, we listen to songs like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of Frankie Beverly made songs we don't know the meaning to. We didn't know the meaning to Pretty Wings with Maxwell. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's a breakup song. The song that we do the electric slide to, that's a breakup song. But I say all that to say, I feel like a lot of times, and I'm not gonna say new artists today don't have feeling or purpose behind their music. I think I just can't get with it. It's missing the soul, and it's like a whole bunch of like druggies. It's like it's I love Percocet and Molly, and don't get me wrong, niggas was definitely on drugs back in the day. But then they make songs like it's like candy, I can feel it when you walk, and even when you didn't know that song was about cocaine. Had no idea. It could be anything. It could be a bitch named Candy. Do you love me, Mary Jane? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That he really made it seem like It was a woman named Mary J. He just wanted to roll up. That's all. He wanted some drum. That was about weed.
Waukesha hit too.
Waukesha did hit. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm speaking in general. You know what I'm saying? Certain songs, you know, they're cute. But in general, for me, it just doesn't hit. So I say all that to say, rest in peace, Frankie. Yeah. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your music. Thank you for your devotion. All the way up to the very end. And if no one else appreciated it, I did. I don't know if that means a rat's ass, but I did. I appreciate your music. Very nostalgic. Very self-soothing. And I was talking about that on my Instagram as well. Like, you know, for him to start the song off saying, you know, I have to remind myself that I am love. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to look somewhere else for it. Like, I look within. It's like, bro, this nigga is spitting Don DeMarco type shit. You feel me? But anyways, so rest in peace. We can move on from that. You know, went to Miami not last week, but the week before last. Great time. Great time. Mariah had a great time. Had a great time. You know, I was with my friends, celebrated Ashley's birthday, Shishi's birthday. Went to a lot of different restaurants. And most importantly, we got to support Central. We won. We beat ASU. If y'all didn't know, I've attended North Carolina Central and Shaw University, and I rep them both. I graduated from Shaw. I attended North Carolina Central. I treat them as both my alma maters because, and I'm paying loans for both of them mugs. Okay? Central don't care that I didn't graduate. Okay? When Salome roll up, they like, yeah, we need that payment too, honey. We need that payment too. So that was a great time. Then I turned right back around and went up to my homeboy AJ. He has this annual event that he throws, beer pong event. And it's amazing. Like I'm really proud of him. AJ's doing amazing. Met him at North Carolina Central. We've been really good friends ever since. And I actually hooked him up with my homeboy Jay Kirkland, Kirk, who started his own catering business. Yeah, so like, you know, being able to like support my friend during his event, as well as, you know, have my friend with his startup business. You have to connect and support each other. You know, one thing that I hate about going off on these tangents, one thing that I hate about society today, when people are starting businesses, people are doing events, I'm not saying you're not worthy, right? But until people know your worth, you have to kind of do the bartering system, right? And I think a lot of people mess up with saying like, oh, I have this new product and I'm gonna charge $150,000. It's like, and don't get me wrong, it's worked for some. It worked for Nipsey. You know what I'm saying? Would I would have bought Nipsey's album for $100? No, but it worked for him. That was his thing. So when he first was coming out, he had an album and he sold it for $100 on the streets and people were buying it. And, you know, he made a lot of money. That don't mean it's going to work for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Every rule has a, what's the word? Exclusion. You know what I'm saying? Has an exception. And so for me, you know, being able to like make that connection so that, you know, AJ was able to get, you know, some quality food, because Kirk can cook down, honey. If y'all not booking Jay Kirkland's, I don't know what you're doing. But for Kirk to be able to go up there outside, because he lives in Atlanta, being able to go to Maryland and meet some new people, because AJ hands out with some big steppers, okay? Some high rollers, okay? And I think for me, like the DMV, it's always a bit intimidating. Everybody got a job. Everybody got a good job. You know what I'm saying? Like, you meet one person, oh, they're like, Bethany with you? Oh, I work in TA. What do you do? I work at the Pentagon. Like, okay. Like, yeah, it's like, geez. Like, so, you know, I definitely think that it was good for Kirk to be able to expand. And Tavares was there, who is, if you don't know Tavares is the founder of Everlesco Models. Everlesco Models is the organization that made me a lady. I tell everyone that. North Carolina Central made me a woman, but Everlesco made me a lady. Because I was way worse than this. I was way worse than this. I was a hood rat tomboy. Didn't know nothing. Didn't brush my hair, nothing. So Tavares was there. Love him down. It was just a really good event. And so now I'm here. And, I definitely have some things I want to talk about. So now we're going to get into take the mic from these niggas.
Take it away. Go ahead. Let's go.
Put my cup down. So I have some notes because there have been some things that's been going on in the past few months. A lot of things, Trump got shot at and, you know what I'm saying? Just wild things. We had the Olympics, we had the Paralympics, Paralympics, let's go. A lot of things that's happened. And I think for me, one thing that I definitely want to talk about, something that just happened recently that had me weak and confused. I want to talk about the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not a football fan. I watch the NFL. We were down in Miami to support the football team, North Carolina Central football team. But I do tune in to the Super Bowl. More specifically, the Super Bowl halftime. So it was just recently announced that this Super Bowl will not only be in New Orleans, but Kendrick Lamar would be over it, be headlining. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
You'd have thought niggas said we gonna get the shorty, the break dancer, Australian break dancer, to come and be the host of the Super Bowl. Like, I'm like, yo, let's take a step back. Okay? Let's take a step back. Right? They wanted Lil Wayne. Cool. I get it. It makes sense. Lil Wayne is a legend. He's from New Orleans, right? It makes sense, right? I think my problem became when it grew bigger than the regular people, and celebrities started making comments, right? When the Nicki Minaj's and the Birdmans and the Cam'rons, when they started making comments, because what we later found out, right? So what happened, let me back up. So it comes out, Kendrick Lamar is going to be headlining. He's going to be over halftime. Everybody's up in there, it should be Lil Wayne, woo, 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 Lil Wayne, hot boys. And then, of course, because we know Jay-Z works in conjunction with finding that halftime show performer, we automatically assume he's the one calling shots. That's what, because you and I, we can make that assumption, right? Because we aren't in those board meetings. We don't even know the people in those board meetings. We don't even know who to call, who could call the person that could know what the fuck happened in those board meetings. So that makes sense, right? But Nicki Minaj, you don't know, you performed. Nicki Minaj performed at a halftime show. So come to find out, everyone starts attacking Jay-Z. Oh, you hate Lil Wayne. You did this on purpose. Oh, and it's because you got problems with Drake. Everyone hates Drake. Drake is the victim. It's Kendrick. Kendrick's not that good. Right? She hates when I talk about Drake. She hates when I talk about Drake. I did that on purpose. Everyone's talking their shit. Nicki Minaj come out. Oh, y'all trying to put a black man down. Now she a Black Panther. Now she is okay. Birdman. Oh, y'all robbing the nigga. Even Hurricane Chris came out and said something. Hurricane. I ain't seen this nigga in 12 years. Since, hey, baby. Hey, baby. Everybody got something to say. Mace, Cameron, love them to down. They came out, oh, Jay-Z is the hater of all haters. He did this on purpose. He wanted to rob Lil Wayne. Just to find out that it's the host city who makes the decision. The only thing that Jay-Z can do is give them a list of performers, and they choose. Where's the apologies? New Orleans didn't want Lil Wayne. It had nothing to do with Jay-Z. It had nothing to do with Jay-Z. Jay-Z did not make that call. New Orleans decided they wanted Kendrick Lamar.
Jay-Z don't need no damn apology.
Are you kidding me?
I'm serious.
Are you kidding me?
So serious.
They called this man everything but a child of God. And this is the problem.
He's in a position of power.
But
That's what happens.
this is what gets me confused. Right? Because for me, right, in my mind, Jay-Z is a DEI hire. All right? He got hired shortly after the Colin Kaepernick situation. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have any power, but he doesn't make the final call.
He's a figurehead. That's all what it is.
He's Miss NFL.
Okay.
So, for them to jump to, and I'm not talking about people like you and me. I can understand that. Birdman, Nicki Minaj, Cameron Mace, y'all are able to make certain phone calls to say, hey, who made this decision? Who? Nicki Minaj performed at a halftime show. Someone had to call her. She you see what I'm saying? Yeah. And then what also confused me was people, one, love Lil Wayne. I'm not going to even slander Lil Wayne the way people slander Lil Wayne. I've seen Lil Wayne came to Dreamville twice, loved it every single time.
Every time.
But for me, I understand why New Orleans would pick Kendrick Lamar.
Absolutely.
He beat Drake. His song went viral, global. He has a Pulitzer. He's won, multiple Grammys. I think like 17 Grammys. His resume speaks for itself. Right now, he is more popular than Lil Wayne.
Absolutely.
It makes sense.
It does.
What I didn't understand was, since when did the Super Bowl start picking artists from that host city's town? That's never been the case. And I have the proof. So, 1993, Michael Jackson performed in Pasadena, California. We know he's from Gary. Patti LaBelle performed in Miami. She's from Philly. So is Teddy Pendergrass. He performed the same one. That was 1995. 96, and mind you, let me back up. I only did artists that I cared about, but none of these artists were from those hometowns. None of those artists were from the hometown. Diana Ross, she performed in Arizona. She's from Michigan. They did a Motown review, a Motown 40th anniversary. I wish I would have seen that. That was in 1998 with the Temptations. Temptations not from California. That's what it was. It was in California. Prince performed 2007 in Miami. Beyonce performed in New Orleans 2013. That would have been a great time for Lil Wayne to perform.
That would. Because he was so hot.
And that's when he was hot, but he wasn't hotter than Beyonce.
Absolutely not.
And I think sometimes what black people forget is what we consider hot and what the world considers hot is two different things. I don't like Taylor Swift at all. You feel what I'm saying?
It's also a generational thing, too.
It's also a generational thing.
Because the people that were complaining from a different generation.
Well, yeah. I agree. So Bruno Mars, he performed in Jersey. Maroon 5 performed in Atlanta. Now, they did bring on Big Boy, right? But knowing how Kendrick Lamar moves, just his pattern, I don't know him. Who's to say that he wasn't going to bring Lil Wayne on there? This is Kendrick fucking Lamar. When he had an opportunity to just demolish Drake at his concert. He could have just literally talked shit about Drake the entire time. What did he do? He literally brought everything and every person who is significant to LA. He had people perform, LA rappers that no one in the country, more or less the world, knew. He brought Tommy the Clown. What's more LA than that? Like, nothing about this says that Kendrick was not thinking about bringing Lil Wayne onto the stage. So why feel the need to shit on him?
That's their people.
If it was Taylor Swift performing, people wouldn't have said shit.
But that's their people. I mean, you just gonna stand up for what you think is right, and people think this was a good opportunity.
Why wasn't it right in 2013? Why wasn't it right in 2000? When correct me if I'm wrong, 2013, I was in college. Lil Wayne was more. I want to be careful with my words, right? Because he's always a legend, right? He's always relevant, right? But he was way more relevant because in 2010, that's when he dropped the mixtape, the No Ceilings. It was like 2009, 2010. So 2013, he was way more relevant than he was now.
But I think what we've seen from Dreamville in the past two Dreamvilles, he's on the circuit now. He's available. I don't know if he was available back then. He had his struggles, whatever. But he's available. He's ready. And
We're talking about the Super Bowl.
but they overpicked Wayne that's ready.
If Wayne missed that opportunity, let's just divulge. Let's just indulge what you're saying. If Wayne missed that opportunity, that's dumb as fuck. That's on him. Because we have, for me, let me break it down. And I had this conversation with Janelle and them. When I say Janelle and them, I'm talking about Janelle, Shishi, Mark, Dominique, Taco Squad, Soul Sisters, shout out to them. For me, when I think of the GOATs, the greatest of all time, right? The Super Bowl performance is a criteria. It doesn't mean it's the only criteria, but it is a criteria. If you haven't performed at the Super Bowl, you can't be considered a GOAT. For me, I'm not saying for everybody else, right? But for me, like, you have to have had a Super Bowl performance to be considered the GOAT. You can be a GOAT, you can be good, you can be great, you can be popular, you can be all that. But to be considered the GOAT, you have to have it. Because every person who I consider one of the greatest has a Super Bowl performance. Now, that does not mean that because you have a Super Bowl performance that you are the greatest. That does not mean that, right? Because there's a lot of people who performed who I don't consider, like Coldplay, and not my speed, not my speed. But it's like, for me, when I think of white artists, right? I think of like Aerosmith and Queen, and, you know what I'm saying? They're not that to me. You feel what I'm saying? They're not the Beatles.
They kind of on that level.
Maybe. I mean, we're dibbling dabbling to a realm that I'm not familiar with, right? But without a question of a doubt, when I think of Queen, they're the greatest. You know what I'm saying? When I think of the Beatles, it's no competition. Coldplay, I don't know. You feel what I'm saying? Because they haven't really impacted the black culture like that, like Queen. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, certain people on here that matter of fact, I want to look it up. But let me say, there's a few criteria that I consider when I give someone the title of the GOAT. And one of those criteria is the Super Bowl. I can't really foresee a reason why Lil Wayne would miss that opportunity in 2013. I don't know. I don't know, right? I don't know. But it's like if somebody asked me to host the Oscars, what the fuck else? Like, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck else do? And it may be, you feel me? Maybe, I don't know, maybe somebody died, maybe whatever. He already had an opportunity. And my estimated guess, right? Educated guess, is because even though he was hot, now that we know the whole city picks the artist, Beyonce was hotter.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? So, for me, I think what Black people have to separate is what's hot in our community and what is globally accepted, right? That, even to Drake's credit, Drake is a globally accepted artist, right? He makes music that you can feel comfortable playing around your grandmother, church, whatever. He got God's playing. You can play that damn near anywhere. You feel what I'm saying? Lil Wayne, he ain't got it. My favorite song with Lil Wayne, Pussy Monster. Personally, I don't know anybody else. You know what I'm saying? He-U-S-S-Y, it's the reason I am alive. Hey! He went crazy. He went crazy. But I mean, I think that making the synopsis that like, oh well, it's because it's in New Orleans. We've never went by that criteria that Super Bowl artists are picked because they were in a certain town. Literally, Usher performed where did Usher perform? In Nevada. Clearly, he's not from Nevada. Rihanna is not even from the States. Where did she perform? Arizona. So what are we talking about?
Just to wrap this up,
Uh-huh.
what do you think, I was just thinking like,
Take your time. Let me use you. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, I think that the point that I'm making is that sometimes we are quick to speak and slow to listen. Sometimes you need to wait. And I think the danger in that is not that Jay-Z cares. I don't think Jay-Z really is even on social media like that, right? But you never know who you affect by the words that you say, right? Because not only did I see people coming for Jay-Z, but I saw people coming for Lil Wayne, saying that he wasn't a great performer, which is a lie. People coming for, Kendrick Lamar, which is a lie. And it's like, why are you attacking these people and you know nothing about the situation? Like, so now you're literally trying to bring down a person's art. This is art that they gave us. Why are you attacking them? When nobody that you're talking about has made any decisions. We don't know who the fuck Kendrick Lamar's gonna bring on that stage. Why do we have to devalue someone to bring someone up?
and I caught what I was about to say. I think this was exacerbated by just the Drake and Kendrick beef.
For sure. And
that's the thing that brought everybody out, because like, if that wasn't a thing, then I don't think this would have been as much a thing. People would have
For sure.
followed it better.
And to your point, I don't know if Kendrick would have performed, right? Because I think for me, I'm one of the biggest Kendrick fans. I think the only person that in today's music, the only person that I put in rap over Kendrick is J. Cole, just because he's more relatable for me. Yeah, I love Jermaine, and Jermaine had to tap that ass, but you know what I'm saying. I love you. You know what I'm saying. But I love him. I think that his music, unlike Drake, and I was talking about this with someone earlier, that Drake goes into the studio with the intention on making hits. How can I appease the people? And this is not a bad thing, right? This is how you stay relevant, right? This is what Michael Jackson did, right? Absolutely. What hit can I make? I'm looking for that next hit, and that next sound, that next wave. I'm looking for something that people are going to indulge in. I feel like people like J. Cole and Kendrick and Prince go into the booth making music that makes them feel good, making music that satisfies them. And don't get me wrong, of course they want people to indulge in it because that's how they make a living. But I don't think that's the main focus, right? Like when we think of certain artists and stuff like that, some artists, I just like to fucking paint. You know what I'm saying? If you fuck with it, you fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? Some people just like to do it. And like, what's homeboy that Basquiat? Wait, is it Basquiat? the young black dude, Basquiat. Yeah, Basquiat. Basquiat was on some other wild shit. You know what I'm saying? Niggas just fuck with him because he was weird and cool and like he just didn't give a fuck. Like it was just like, oh shit, like I want to be cool. Like some people have that aura of like they're just so cool that people naturally attract to them, right? And then there's other people who have like who just know how to stay relevant, who know how to be a people entertainer. I don't want to say pleaser because I don't think Drake is a people pleaser. I like Drake. You know what I'm saying? I love Drake. But I think he also doesn't go into the booth saying like, this is what's on my heart. And I think, let me take that back. I think Take Care was something that was very personal to him. It sounded like, even if it wasn't, it sounded, and because, people saying that maybe in a weekend. Yeah, it could have been a weekend, but it sounded personal. It sounded like this was something come from his heart. Because Drake seemed to be like a lover boy who's always gotten his heart broken and always fucking random bitches and bitches breaking his heart, so then he turned to a fuckboy. But, I think that with Kendrick, yes, this beef definitely made it a reason for him to perform this year. But that was just only for him to get noticed. I don't think he was not worthy of it, right? Like his accolades made him very worthy for him to perform. You see what I'm saying? This was just the one that made, the situation made him get noticed. So that's what I think. I think people need to shut the fuck up sometimes and just wait for things to play out. And just because someone isn't your favorite artist or you don't prefer someone does not mean that their music shouldn't be respected. Like I had a lot of people call me like, if I was in the car and you like they said if I was on a road trip, actually Ashanti said this. Ashanti asked me this. He said if I was on a road trip with a group of people in the car and I could only play Kendrick, Drake, and Cole, who would I play? And of course, to appease the masses, right? I'm going to play Drake to appease the masses because Drake is the most diverse. You know what I'm saying? And even for me as a Kendrick fan, because Kendrick's music for me, it honestly reminds me so much of Prince. It will alter my mood. I can only listen to Kendrick's music in a certain like emotional state. Like To Pimp a Butterfly is such an emotional piece of art. Like he's literally talking about his mental health and going through suicide and, being successful and feeling guilty of not being there for people. And it's like, bro, why the fuck would I listen to this on a day-to-day basis? This is emotional as fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's hard. That is some hard shit to listen to when you're listening to what the fuck he's saying. And Drake is like, nonstop. Hey, you know what I'm saying? What? This a rolling, not a stop. What? Shit don't never stop. Hey, got that block super hot. Like, yeah, I'm about to put it, because I'm not trying to be in my feelings. You feel me? And I think Cole is like in a mix of two. I think Cole has, music that can be played for the masses as well as music that gets a little deeper. So I personally ranked it just to clear the air. I ranked it Drake, Kendrick, and then Cole, just because, and it was like 1A, 1B, just because I would listen to a little bit more of Kendrick's music because like the last maybe 2 or 3 albums of Cole, I wasn't really feeling like that. Like when he did like the Dreamville Revenge, it was like, okay. And then he did the one with, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like, I don't know.
Those were pretty much spent trying to put his people on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is, I'm not mad at it. It's just, you feel me? It counts. It does. You feel me? And what was that one? Not the Off Season. That wasn't a favorite of mine. It wasn't, and it doesn't mean it was good, just wasn't a favorite of mine. But with Kendrick, there's not a lot of album. I don't think there's no album I would skip. There's maybe some songs I would skip on the album, but I can listen to an album, even the longest one. Yeah, like but that's my preference.